Duane, I have a question from uh, another new friend, Echo, sent it to me during the day. Uh, and he says, he asks, um, how can we be different uh, when we are facing challenges in life? How can we uh, show this trait of being different from others when we face challenges? It is something that plagues him, because in the face of challenges, people will react in ways that are often bizarre or conformist or anything like that. So, how he wants to know how we can override these challenges that we will face from time to time.
The challenges that we all have to live with and deal with here, very real, because again, we're in cause and effect creation. And this is why we're here. And, we're put in the arena, you might say, just like a gladiator, to see what you can do. This is how it is. We chose to come here to figure ourselves out and see what we can accomplish. So, this is all part of it. So, asking the question is one thing, but deciding to see what's taking place, that's the idea. In other words, because we have a mind and emotion, we usually react and we decide something accordingly. That's the personal self, all right? But it is your real awareness. It is the awareness that operates these five bodies, just like the driver of a car. The car is not deciding where to go. The car is not turning the steering wheel. The driver is. And so, first step is to recognize that we are the driver, and it's not our mind or emotions. It's not what we've come to know and what we've collected like books on a shelf. No, those are ideas. Those are experiences we've gone through. We've classified them. We've become self-convinced by them, whatever. But that's in our mental and emotional memory bodies, etc., and corresponds accordingly to the physical body. So we learn to understand this now, because as we were raised one-dimensionally, just to basically do what we're told to do. And look to authorities and what the authorities have decided for us how to think and what to do and how to react and how to communicate. Well, now becomes the bigger challenge to recognize who we are and how this relates to the whole of life. And so the new you is simply the real connection, because it is not an authority. It is the real connection to the endlessness life is, the isness life is, because it is all alive. And while we're in creation, we have the idea that, okay, this is life itself. Well, eventually you discover it is not life itself. So the challenge of what we're going through is simply because this helps us wake up to recognize, okay, we take on the challenge, because if we don't come here and take on the challenge in the physical sense, then we stay kind of dormant. And if you go to the real side, the first area of creation, and it can be all of creation, doesn't matter, astral, causal, mental worlds, etc. Well, these people are just hanging out because they've went through lifetimes and they don't know where else to go until they take on the challenge to see. So we've we've come across many of these in our journey with what we're bringing forth, and that is these people have been sitting around for thousands of years, and they're still the same. So the challenge, and especially now, these people, they have the real knowledge what the all is. They have this knowledge that is the best reference to this reality, to where you can't find it everywhere. Can you go to the moon and find it? Can you on Mars or part of this parts of this galaxy or other galaxies somewhere? Can you find this knowledge? It's probably doubtful. You're just going to be with space pirates or whatever that looks good because they have technology. Technology seems to be the big deal. Well, really don't need technology, but we have it, and we have the challenge to deal with it, and it's ruining the planet. That's very often. So we each came here to wake up to this challenge, and that's a decision too that each person makes. You want to wake up, you want to move forward with this challenge. Well, again, those things that have been set up, it's easy to comply with those things because, again, they become the authority, and you just simply do what you do accordingly, and everybody does the same thing, so it all seems to be okay. But when a person passes over from this life, all of a sudden they have a different view. But is it going to take that long, or are they going to take the risk? So, yeah, there's always going to be the challenge because your real awareness is endless. So every moment, I have this personal self too, but the personal self has brought forward the challenge for me to better recognize my real awareness. Because I really focused on that, I created certain ideas to focus on and pivot from that. Now, Paul gave different techniques at his particular time. I streamlined it to the new you and the real universes to bypass all of this, but at the same time, you're in creation and dealing with it just like I am. And so we need the challenge. You need the challenge as long as you're here until you can stand real in that full position, because it's not going to just happen. You know, it's like a person that hasn't went to school. They're not going to just have the knowledge without going through the process. They got to go through the process. And so this is what is happening. So as long as you're here, learn to see it different than you have, and also compare what you've been through, and to learn to recognize the difference between being different or being the same as everybody else. So you have a lot of comparison to go through, and then learn to recognize the subtleties of something else that's taking place. Now this is, these are the parts that can't really be explained, but can be seen and recognized, and life and the guides recognize this, but each person has to recognize that for themselves. That becomes the big challenge, so getting beyond one's own mind and how they are self-convinced. So, in other words, we've been brought up a certain way, we feel comfortable with that, now all of a sudden the situations on the outer are changing. And so how do we face that? Well, you become more aware so that you can recognize what's going on, and then you can deal with it step at a time, and then you learn to become more and more aware till eventually you surpass it all. But that's a huge challenge. It's not going to happen overnight. Go ahead, Charles.
Okay, then. Let me translate it today. Oui, mes amis.
Oui, on est là, Michel.
Ok. Duane a dit que bon, on a choisi d'être ici-bas. Et on est ici pour survoler devant les obstacles, pour esquiver les obstacles en utilisant notre propre conscience. Ouais. Et que tant qu'on n'a pas encore arrivé à un niveau de conscience très élevé, et jusque-là, on aura toujours ces obstacles. Parce qu'on est venu ici pour avoir des obstacles. On savait qu'il y a des obstacles ici. Et les obstacles là, c'est à nous bâtir, à nous aider à réaliser ce qui est la vie. Donc, on ne doit pas pleurer devant les obstacles et tout ça. Et que bon, la vie est comme une voiture qui marche sur la route. Est-ce que la voiture peut marcher sans chauffeur? Ça ne peut pas aller. Donc, on est le chauffeur. Chacun est le chauffeur de la voiture de sa vie. Et donc, ces obstacles-là, c'est pour nous faire grandir. C'est pour nous aider à être plus forts, plus créatifs, plus reconnaissants de ce qui est la vie. Donc, quand on a cette difficulté, on doit regarder à l'intérieur de nous-mêmes, ne pas dire que bon, on va soumettre nos problèmes aux divinités, à Dieu et tout ça. On doit nous-mêmes chercher à régler ces problèmes, à escriver. Il y a des fois même résoudre un problème, c'est l'escriver. Et chacun est le décideur de sa vie. Chacun fait le choix. À chaque moment, on fait des choix, on a des préférences, on a des bias, on a des préjudices qui peuvent même nous favoriser ou bien nous nuire. Donc, chacun agit dans son monde pour esquiver ces obstacles, pour survoler, et on ne doit pas attendre quelqu'un d'autre pour nous dire comment esquiver ça. Quand on est dans la voiture, on est sur la route, on est devant, on conduit. Est-ce que tu vas demander à une autre chauffeur qui est dans sa propre voiture comment esquiver ce que tu vois là? C'est toi-même qui vois ça. C'est toi qui... Tu peux même arrêter. Tu peux aller à gauche ou à droite. Et tout ça. Ou bien rentrer. Ou bien rentrer même. Oui, si ça sert à escrire ces problèmes, c'est pour rentrer, il faut rentrer. Peut-être il faut rentrer. Oui, c'est la créativité. Il y a les gens qui sont très... je ne sais pas quel mot utiliser. Ils ne voient rien. Est-ce que tu penses que voir que tu peux rentrer, c'est tout le monde qui peut voir? C'est pas tout le monde. C'est pas tout le monde qui peut voir. Il y a les autres qui vont dire que bon, je vais aller. Mais c'est une solution créative aussi, c'est pour rentrer. Que ça ne va pas. Ça ne va pas. Si je continue sur cette voie, il y aura quelque chose de plus pire. Maintenant, je dois rentrer. Et tu es sauvé. Tu es sauvé. Bon, mes amis, c'est ça. Et il y a notre... je ne sais pas, la deuxième partie de la deuxième question de choses que c'est nous vivons dans le monde de la création, mais nous nous soumettons pas aux divinités de la création. Alors que faire pour être différent dans notre vie? Est-ce qu'il faut poser encore cette question, Richard?
Non, parce que presque la question est déjà répondue. Hein.
Oui. Moi, c'est pourquoi je lui ai demandé, parce que, bon, je vois que la question est déjà répondue d'une façon ou d'autre. Bon, dans ce cas,
okay.
Oui. Dans ce cas, oui.
Oui, allô.
Bon, je veux poser une autre question qui peut aider beaucoup des amis. À propos de rêves là, il y a les new friends qui disent que bon, ils n'ont plus de rêves comme ils les avaient auparavant. Ils ne savent pas ce qui se soudainement ce qui les a arrivés. Est-ce qu'ils grandissent ou c'est quoi? Le progrès est arrêté ou c'est comment? Ils ne savent, ils ne comprennent rien. Ils ne comprennent rien. Donc je veux poser cette question pour qu'ils nous éclaircissent. Est-ce que ça va?
Oui,
ok.
Ok.